And we probably need to feel that around to the left more. That would be the exact opposite, Scott. Around to the left without the toe turning over as much would be the antithesis. Yeah. So you have three primary sources that you could slice it with. So number one, we've talked about this, put your left hand on there. You could actively not be applying enough torque to advance the club head around and square up the face.
There's a lot of that because there's a lot of stuff going straight right.
So this is only one of three potential sources that could make you leave the face open.
Got it.
So some people call this active torque. In other words, you actively feeling like you're using your hands and forearms to sling the club and square it to keep it from being open, or keep the club face from being left behind where it will stay open, you see. So of course you could always fix it that way. That's another torque, twisting the club that way to make up for it, or you can slinging it ahead this way. Those are all what you might term as active torques, or torques you can feel like you're producing at the wrist. So then you have your second source of torque, which is really, it comes down to the path of the handle. Okay, if the path of the handle is bad, then you'd have to apply exponentially more active torque in order to make up the difference. So that comes down to two, that breaks down to two. Number one, if you're pushing this way, right? There is a greater tendency for the handle of the club to follow that way in more of a straight line right of second base or at second base rather than arcing. So that comes back to the water ski principle, where if the water ski boat goes hard left, the club wants to rip around it and square up. And so some you might call that a passive torque, although it's all active because it's our body actually doing it.
I get it.
But it's passive because it doesn't feel like we're doing it with our hands. Okay, so if you stay back, keep the butt depth, and turn through, it allows you to turn through more, we've talked about. And the handle will tend to want to come more around the corner to the left, and that gives us our water ski boat analogy where the club is whipping around. Now we have one more, third one. If the handle path is too vertical, this way. Remember, we're talking about this end of the stick. If it's working too much like a Ferris wheel and not out on the plane with the ball, you're still getting the water ski reaction, but you're getting it vroom, vroom. You're getting it.
That's what it feels like.
Right. So the kick of the head, because of course the shaft is still curving. It's curving around a vertical arc now. More vertical arc. That means the kick is going to be this way and not out to the ball to square the face up. So a lot of times when their handle path is a little too vertical, yes, you get this kick downwards, but you never get the squaring, the face squaring kick. Okay, so right. So you've been guilty of those three things at any given time. You've been guilty of all three or just one out of three, and you can understand how the second two, the passive ones, if you're not super good on those, you would have to exponentially feel like you're increasing the action of the wrists in order to keep. In other words, a lot of people start developing a flip. They start flipping it or feeling like it's more muscly to get the club face squared up. When you're doing the first two, it almost feels like you have so much squaring force that you almost don't need to. And the dare is to lift the chair off the ground an inch and just stay there. Don't hit it. That's right. You might feel that your butt has to stay out of the way in order to leave enough room. Like go back halfway and stop. Stop there. So if your hips were to move in this direction, off to the right, you can see there's no way. You see that you'll crash, right. Okay, so just keep slowly working half swings under and left, feeling like the swoosh is out in front. And swing around to the left. And we probably need to feel that around to the left more. That would be the exact opposite, Scott. Around to the left without the toe turning over as much would be the antithesis. Yeah.